Hi everyone, Chelsea here. Before we dive into this week's thrilling folklore episode, we wanted to share a quick ad for one of our indie podcast friends. The episode will be starting right after. We hope you enjoy.
There are places in America where the road goes quiet, where legends still breathe, and where the line between truth and folklore blurs. From haunted highways and cryptid sightings to stories that have echoed through generations, State of the Unknown takes you deep into the shadows of America's strangest corners. Hosted by Rob, this documentary-style podcast blends immersive storytelling with real research to uncover the tales that refuse to fade. If you like your mysteries murky and your folklore just a little too real, you might already be living in the state of the unknown. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
From folklore and fairies
to monsters and mysteries, it came from the Maritimes.
He's getting a little woozy over here. My co-host, Evan.
A silhouette in the mist. My co-host, Chelsea.
Hi everyone. Welcome to It Came From The Maritimes. It is our 50th episode, not including minis.
Nice.
We are so very excited. When we started this podcast just under 2 years ago, we had no idea it would take off like this. And we're so thrilled each week to know that we found fellow folklore lovers who want to listen to us share our spin on these tales.
Thank you.
Yes, we really do want to thank each and every person who's listened, whether you listen each week or whether you tune in for an episode here or there. Hopefully this one, so you hear this message. We have big plans for the podcast this year, and just a little reminder that we always appreciate if you can rate and review us on your favorite podcast platform, help us in the algorithms, and share our podcast with your friends so more folks can find us and we can grow our community of spooky maritime folklore lovers. For our 50th episode, we wanted to share an epic story. And what's more epic than a ghost story that involves all three of the maritime provinces? Today, we'll be sharing the ghost story of the ghost ship of the Northumberland Strait. So, Evan, are you familiar with this tale?
I think I read it when I was researching at the start of when we were doing the podcast, so I don't remember all the details.
Yes, I feel like it's one of those big maritime ghost stories that almost everyone has at least heard whispers about. But I know in a lot of the resources, it's such a big story that they share like a sighting or two.
And that's the thing. I feel like I've seen like bits and pieces of it here and there, but not everything put together.
Yes. Today, I feel like it will be by no means all-inclusive, or else this episode would probably turn into an entire podcast on the Northumberland ghost ship, similar to when Evan covered the Mary Celeste. There's just so much info.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be covering as much of it as possible. And if you've heard any different sightings or stories, or if you have any of your own, please send them our way so we can learn all about them. The Northumberland Strait is the body of water that runs between northern New Brunswick and Nova Scotia and the beautiful island province of Prince Edward Island. It's a 209-kilometer waterway that ranges from 13 to 48 kilometers wide. So there's some distance there.
Yeah, it's pretty wide.
I know many Nova Scotians enjoy swimming at the beaches along the Northumberland Strait because the water is toasty warm compared to the South Shore.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, I loved going to White Point as a kid and all that, but the beaches were not warm water.
No, it's kind of funny looking back because Evan and I used to do our own thermal plunges before they were even popular because we'd go in the ocean and then run up into the hot tub with our sandy feet and then into the outdoor pool. So.
I was about to say, they probably did not appreciate us just sanding up the hot tub.
No.
Blocking up the jets.
I'm sure we attempted to wash our feet off before.
I was about to say, I feel like we would run through the outdoor pool first to clean them off.
So still not following the rules of White Point, but...
The outdoor pool was already pretty sandy.
That's true. We were not the worst of the issue. The Northumberland Strait is not simply known for these relatively balmy waters, but for the flaming ghost ship, which has been spotted in several locations by hundreds of witnesses over the years in all three maritime provinces. The earliest sightings date back to the 1700s, when Mi'kmaq hunters mentioned seeing a mysterious vessel on the water. Folks have witnessed this ghost ship year-round, but most of the sightings seem to take place from September to November. Folks say that in the harvest months, when the wind is blowing in from the northeast, the ghost ship of the Northumberland Strait will be seen. Those who have seen it say it appears as a shimmering three-masted schooner which quickly becomes consumed by flames as you look on.
That's so interesting. That is kind of like the fall, the
Yes,
harvest months, like you said.
as the veil thins.
Ooh.
Now, as I mentioned before, this is one of the most frequently cited paranormal phenomena in the Maritimes. So I've decided to share one sighting from each century it's been spotted so that it's not just me listing sightings for the next hour.
There you go. Yeah, fair enough.
Now, the first documented sighting that I read about in my research was at the Sea Cow Head Lighthouse in Prince Edward Island. It's relatively close to where the Confederation Bridge now stands. This sighting is from 1786. On a stormy night, as a strong northeast wind blew in, the Sea Cow Head lighthouse keeper saw a three-masted schooner struggling in the gales. The schooner was being pushed towards the rocky cliffs when all of a sudden it disappeared from sight. The lighthouse keeper at first was afraid that maybe it had struck the rocks and sunk, but he quickly realized it wouldn't have been possible for it to happen that quickly. So another recorded sighting was documented in Pictou, Nova Scotia in 1880. This time, a fisherman reported seeing a three-masted schooner appear out of nowhere. It was sailing towards the east, and he was shocked when all of a sudden the ship was engulfed by flames and it plunged beneath the water. So quite spooky.
And one thing I'll say is it was sailing towards the east in this one, so maybe the opposite direction from last time.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know actually how to sail a boat, so.
That's it. Maybe different, maybe the same. That's our final.
There's a possibility of something not being the exact same.
Now, in January 1988, we're getting a little closer to modern times. Near Borden, Prince Edward Island, the flaming ghost ship was seen again from the water by folks who were on the ferry. So this was about 5 years before the Confederation Bridge was built.
Okay.
So the ship's crew and passengers were able to see the ship with their eyes, but the crew could not detect it on the ship's radar, so they were stumped.
Oh, weird. Yeah. I guess it makes sense if it's a ghost ship.
Well, that's true. I guess I'd have different questions if ghost ships could appear on radars.
True.
Now, this next one is the most recent formally documented sighting I could track down. But like I said, if you have your own or if you've heard of any more recent ones, please let me know. So this one was from 2008. So in mid-January 2008, a 17-year-old named Mathieu Giguère, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, was looking across Tatamagouche Bay on the north shore of Nova Scotia. He saw a bright white and gold ship, which resembled the Blue Nose in shape and style, so kind of schooner.
Yeah.
The shocking thing was, the ship was sailing through an ice-covered harbor as if the water was not actually frozen solid.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah. Now, as I mentioned before, some folks report seeing the ship itself, but others have heard the sound of cannon fire before it appears. Some unfortunate souls have seen the grisly scene of a ghostly ship crew frantically sprinting around the deck trying to put out the flames before succumbing to their fiery fate. The apparition sometimes fades quickly, but other people have actually watched it for hours before it fades.
Jeez, that sounds traumatic to watch.
It would be. It really would be. There's actually been a couple of attempted rescues after sightings over the years. Folks who don't recognize the vessel as something from the spirit world have launched rescue attempts. One such took place in Charlottetown Harbor in the early 1900s. A group of sailors were on shore when they saw the flaming ship, and they assumed it was a ship in distress, so they jumped in a rowboat and made their way towards the vessel. They were confused when it disappeared, but assumed it must have just sunk quickly. They actually got divers to join the rescue efforts, but there was no evidence ever found of a shipwreck. So at that point, they realized it must have been the ghost ship of the Northumberland Strait.
Yeah, geez. Good on them for trying to rescue them. It's that would have been a confusing day.
Right? Another rescue attempt took place by Captain Angus Brown of Wood Island's Prince Edward Island. He spotted the burning ship and launched his ferry to try to help. But as the crew approached, the burning ship vanished before their eyes. That would be quite the shock.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is you're going out, you're thinking you're going to help people, and then you're just like, oh, geez, it's just nothing? It's a ghost? It's who knows?
Right? It would be startling to say the least.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now, this is my favorite part of the story because we all know I love my gray lady ghosts. So I was beyond delighted when I learned there's the spirit of a woman in white associated with the Northumberland ghost ship.
Oh.
Pictou Island sits almost smack dab in the middle of the Northumberland Strait, so it's no surprise it's been the site of many sightings of the ghost ship. Folks on Pictou Island haven't only seen the supernatural ship, but a mysterious woman in white who goes to the shore to meet the vessel. One such night, Fishermen were tending to their nets along the shore when a woman in a long white dress walked right past them. It happened so quickly they didn't have time to react, but she walked right into the water and plunged beneath the surface. As she submerged, a bright light appeared in the water, and suddenly the ghost ship rose above the surface of the strait and started sailing east before burning up and sinking back below the water's waves. She's also been seen standing on the cliffs, reaching out longingly towards the burning phantom vessel. So quite spooky.
Yeah, I was thinking, I wonder who she is.
Well, let's talk about a theory.
Oh, there we go.
So local lore states that years ago, there was a young woman named Sheila who would watch the water waiting for her sailor love, Tommy Hartigan, to return from a voyage at sea. One night, as she kept her vigil, she saw the phantom ship appear with its dying crew, but she saw enough detail to realize the sails were made from tanned skin. She took this ominous apparition as a sign that Tommy was lost at sea. So she decided to take her own life by following the ghost ship into the depths of the Northumberland Strait.
Oh, well, that's sad.
It is. You know me, I love my doom and gloom.
I mean, some of these episodes, as it turns out, when you're talking about ghosts,
there's a sad story associated with them.
Sometimes it's because there's dead people.
Who knew? It took us almost 2 years of doing the podcast for Evan to realize.
I've learned empathy.
Now, there's many theories behind the origin of the ghost ship. I will cover quite a few here, but if you have heard a different one, let us know. Some folks will tell you that it's the ghostly apparition of a ship which sunk to the depths of the Atlantic after being accidentally burned by drunken men on board who knocked over a lamp in their revelry. Maybe, but seems a bit vague. Some folks have theories that it is specific ships that have been documented in history. Apparently, there was a pirate ship sunk by the British near Merigamish in the early 1800s. There was also a Scottish immigrant ship, which was heading towards Quebec, but disappeared after being blown off course in a storm and presumably sunk in the Northumberland Strait. There was another vessel, the John Craig, which was lost near Shippagan Shoals on the northern coast of New Brunswick, and many Nova Scotians believe that the ghost ship is the Isabella, a vessel which set sail for South America, loaded up with lumber in 1868, and was last spotted by a lighthouse keeper on the remote Amet Island but was never seen again. Now, I love these next two theories because they connect to other tales we've shared. So, due to the ghost ship's location on the northern coast of New Brunswick, some think that it's the one and the same as the famous fire ship of the Baie des Chaleurs we discussed in our second ever Maritime mini back in the day. And others think that it's the ghost ship of the Fairy Queen, which we discussed in our Forerunners episode. This vessel was wrecked off the coast of Pictou Island in 1853. So some big theories there.
I was about to say, I'm taking a second to bring it in because I was kind of thinking, I was like, we've talked about fire ships in this area before, haven't we?
Right. So who knows? Maybe it's the same.
Could be.
Now, let's share the objectively less exciting theories because we want to be thorough. So some think that the ghost ship of the Northumberland Strait is not paranormal at all, but simply a light phenomenon caused by methane gas being released under the water. These underwater methane deposits can cause booming sounds, which could potentially explain the cannon sounds if it wasn't obviously a ghost ship. And there's a more recent theory that is interesting. Apparently, squid ink has a phosphorescent quality, which can become electrically charged by the wind, causing an optical illusion. So I don't really understand the science behind that.
I was about to say, I think we're going to need to, we need to bring in a scientist on some of our episodes.
That's it. I recently went to the new aquarium at Dal, so I'll ask next time I'm there.
Just at the front desk, ask that poor person working there. So how can the wind electrically charge squid ink? And see what they say. I'm
not leaving here without answers. That's how I get uninvited to the aquarium. So, Evan, what theory do you think?
I mean, like, I know I've definitely heard the methane gas one before. So, I mean, I know there's something to it. But yeah, I'm curious about the other part where it's like, is this the same ghost ship we've seen before? Is it a different one? It's hard to say.
Right. And it sounds like there were a lot of shipwrecks there. So,
yeah, I know. I'll send you a picture when I get home. When I was in PEI the last time, I bought a poster that was a map of PEI with all of the shipwrecks around it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I know there was quite a few in the 1800s. I believe there was this storm called the Yankee Gale that hit a lot of ships in the area.
That's such a cheerful poster to have up in your home.
I thought it was neat. It was at a little shop while we were in PEI and...
It sounds very cool.
No, it is. I need to get it up on my wall still, but yeah, it's very interesting.
Oh, definitely send me a picture.
Will do.
Regardless of what the ghost ship of the Northumberland Strait truly is, it's a supernatural story that has mesmerized Maritimers for centuries. It has inspired many tales, and even a song by the famous Lenny Gallant. So that is our story on the Northumberland ghost ship. So today for our segment, I got a game recently. It was given to me by my pal Beth, so thank you. I love that people see spooky stuff and think of me. It's a spooky scenarios game, so kind of a would you rather. So I picked a few of the spookiest scenarios to chat about.
I saw them, but I only saw the card that had the S on it, so I thought it was a Scooby-Doo themed thing.
If only. Evan, are you ready?
I am.
So would you rather look in a mirror, but your reflection isn't copying your movements, or enter an antique shop where everything you touch moves on its own?
I'm going to say the mirror one, and I say this because I feel like sometimes with the mirror thing, whatever it is stuck behind the mirror in another kind of realm in these stories, whereas if something's just moving on its own, it could be coming after me.
True, but see, I'd go with the antique shop one because I'd learn real quick to just not touch stuff if it started moving.
It doesn't clarify how it's moving, too. If it's like a mannequin but it's just rolling around on the floor, that's different than like walking and chasing you.
That's true. So I'll come up with a more detailed scenario regarding the antique shop.
I'm here to break the game. But yeah, like I guess the other thing is the mirror thing. It could just seal me away in the mirror and steal my identity, which I mean, good luck paying my bills.
Evan's like, actually, this sounds like a refreshing vacation.
I know. It's like, you know what? Actually, do that. Come on out, pay off my student loans, and then we can swap back.
Evan has goals for this mere demon.
Exactly.
Now, would you rather, I'm assuming I know the answer to this one for each of us right off the bat. Would you rather hear footsteps behind you, but every time you turn around, there's no one there? Or step outside and all the birds are staring at you?
I'm gonna go with the second one, and I think you're gonna find one of my minis that's coming up is gonna portray that.
Excellent. I think I would take the footsteps over the birds.
This is gonna sound weird, but I feel like everyone probably has, just in some sort of weird echo way. But I feel like I've experienced the footsteps one before.
I have too. Like when I was living in downtown Toronto, my walk home from the subway station was like 15 minutes between very tall apartment buildings, and the echoes that would be created. And also in Toronto, sometimes people walk really close behind you.
Yeah, they're just like there. They're like breathing down your neck.
Yeah, and it's like they step out of an alley and they're 2 feet behind you and they don't think about it. And I assume they're going to murder me.
I mean, yeah.
Right? Now, would you rather spend the night in a haunted house alone or go home and find a new family living in your house?
You see, I'm going to say haunted house because the new family thing, it could be supernatural or it could be like, you know, those like, I feel like there was a thriller movie or like TV show out recently about like a woman in like a similar experience. And it's like, that just sounds like so, like, what do you even do? That's just like a weird gaslighting situation.
Well, that's just it. I feel like there's long-term implications for the squatter situation, whether they're supernatural or just real people with no boundaries.
Exactly. Or just like a thriller movie where it's like, am I the one who's like...
Yeah, who's right here?
Yeah.
Now, would you rather find a cursed object at a yard sale and have a week to break its spell, or walk into your kitchen and find every cabinet door open every single time?
I'm going to go with the cursed item just because, here's the thing, that has potential to be annoying in the long term, but the cabinet one is just annoying in the long term.
I agree. I'm on the same page. Now, would you rather have all the street lights go out at once when you're alone at night, or your safety harness suddenly loosen when you're on a roller coaster?
The streetlight ones for sure. That's just, I went on like a kick and watched all the Final Destination movies last year. It's kind of like, I know what's going on. And also, I've had the streetlight thing happen to me before.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like, I don't even know what's going on. I don't know if I ever sent you the video, but at one point, there's a streetlight outside my house. And a squirrel got in there and like chewed on the wire or something. So then every night it was like a strobe light outside my house. And then sometimes the neighborhood kids would just be running under it and like screaming.
Just a party on the street.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was like a rave sometimes, but other times you just wake up in the middle of the night and you're like going to the bathroom and then you just see like bop, 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 like light flashing at you.
Not ideal.
It really wasn't.
No. Yeah, I don't mess around with roller coasters on a good day. I got vertigo.
No, exactly.
Now, would you rather wake up in an empty room, unable to find any of your belongings, or wake up to find your phone full of photos of you sleeping.
Like, there's a part of me that's just like, is this just Allie doing something weird? I'm going to say full of photos of me sleeping and just got to go with it. I don't know.
Go with it.
I like my stuff. Well, how about you?
That's fair. I think I'd rather my belongings be missing. I guess either way, someone's been in your space while you're asleep, so
Well,
it's
that's
not
the thing.
ideal.
It's kind of like someone's been on my phone either way, or someone has my phone either way.
That's
they're either
true.
taking pictures or they're taking it away. I'd rather they just take the pictures and leave it.
Now our final one. Would you rather wake up in an abandoned hospital or wake up in a coffin?
Abandoned hospital. Did you ever watch the movie Buried?
No, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's like, is it Ryan Reynolds?
Yes.
Yeah, like a weirdly funny guy for that movie, but it's like, it's rough. It's like, oh. Whereas like abandoned hospital, you got 28 days later.
True. That's it. I feel like there's more possibilities.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you got a chance. The coffin, it's like, am I underground? Am I not? I don't know.
Well, I guess that's the thing. If it was just like a coffin bed, I'd be okay with that. But if it's a buried coffin.
True, yeah. If I'm just like sitting there like Dracula, wake up and I'm like, ooh, refreshed.
Yeah, just pop that lid and start the day.
Exactly. Maybe I'm getting a really good sleep in there. That being said, this is my own thing, but recently Allie and I watched the TV show Bodkin, and there's a scene where they have like a wake in an Irish community. I'm like, Allie, that coffin's not very big. I don't think I'd fit in there very well. And she's like, yeah, they really gotta squish him in this. And I don't want that. It's like, I'm broad.
Sticking to the asylum.
Well, wasn't it just a hospital, an abandoned hospital?
I'm adding layers to
I was about to say, you're making claims about me.
Evan is staying in the abandoned hospital. So will I.
Good.
Well, that is the last of our spooky scenarios. I'm going to share these to our Instagram stories, probably a day or two after the episode releases, with some polls. So let us know which you would rather.
Exactly. You let me know if you really want them to take your phone rather than just take a bunch of pictures of you. You let me know.
That's it. Let us know. Well, thank you so much again for listening to us and supporting us so that we were able to reach 50 episodes. Here's to 50 more.
Ooh.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of It Came From The Maritimes. You can find us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at It Came From The Maritimes, on Blue Sky at ICFT Maritimes, and if you have any Atlantic Canada folklore you would like covered in future episodes or spooky encounters of your own, email us at itcamefromthemaritimes@gmail.com. We are also on Patreon, so check us out if you want bonus content. We currently have 2 bonus holiday-themed minis. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a 5-star review to help others find us. Now, Evan, do you have a folklore tip for us today?
Sure do. If you turn on 3 lights in one room, you will upset a ship at sea.
I certainly won't be doing that.
Neither will I.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.